Wera, Hobhouse.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. The government keeps telling us that more money is going to schools than ever before, but it ignores the reality on the ground. And today I just want to unpick one number that the government uses to justify its position. It simply doesn't stand up. Take the extra 1.3 billion announced by the government shortly after the 2017 election. According to a survey poll, 750,000 people changed which party they voted for in the 2017 general election because of the school funding emergency, so the government had to respond. But they misheard us. We said more money, not move money. The 1.3 billion wasn't new money. £350 million was taken out of a fund for new PE facilities, and the government passed a bill for 13 new schools to cash-strapped local authority. So the government raided the new money from the capital budget when the National Audit Office estimates it will cost £6.7 billion just to return all school buildings to a satisfactory condition. One of my schools in Bath, Newbridge Primary School, has fallen foul of this raid. Children are being taught in buildings with leaky roofs and play on the school playing fields surrounded by crumbling walls. In a meeting with the government that I secured, the school was told to look for a cheaper ground maintenance contractor. Meanwhile, the so-called new money did nothing to reverse the real terms cut to per-pupil funding between 2015 and 2017. Today, 91% of schools have less money per pupil in real terms than they did in 2015. And in my own constituency of Bath, schools have seen their per-pupil funding cut by £230 in real terms since 2015. And the reason why this angers me so much is because our school funding emergency is a political choice. The latest estimate from the NEU is that it would cost about £2.2 billion to bring the main three blocks of the national funding formula back up to its 2015 levels. Instead, the government has spent over half of that money to increase the higher rate threshold for income tax, so that people like us here in Parliament get a tax cut of over £500 per year. We Lib Dems voted against tax cuts for ourselves. But that only goes to show the very wrong choices that this government makes. Liberal Democrats committed to reversing school cuts at the last general election, and we will do so again at the next one. But the longer the government waits, the more teachers and parents will vote with their feet, and probably will do so in the local elections on the 2nd of May. Today, Madam Deputy Speaker, I want to make one special plea, and it's been echoed across the Chamber: provide an immediate funding boost for pupils with special educational needs. They are on the front line of our schools' funding emergency. The high needs budget is not keeping up with the rise in SEND pupil numbers. In Bath and North East Somerset, the high needs budget is worth about £21,000 for each child with an education, health and care plan. That's £1,600 less in real terms than in 2015. We are over £1.8 million short of what we need just to tread water. And that's for children with the very most special needs and the most complex needs. Support for those who don't meet the thresholds for an HECP must be paid out of then a squeezed school budget for the local authority. And the Minister must consider providing additional money in the national funding formula to cover some of the costs that schools are currently paying, usually £6,000 as their contribution towards an education, health and care plan. That way, we can free up schools' budget to provide in-school support to children with additional needs who do not usually qualify for an AHCP, such as pupils with dyslexia or high-functioning autism. So I urge the government to end this funding emergency so that schools, colleges, but particularly pupils with SEND, have the money they so desperately need and deserve. Thank you, Madam Deputy.